Everything you have been told about getting what you want is a lie. They tell you to hustle harder. They tell you to grind until your eyes bleed. They tell you to obsess over your goals, to create vision boards, to want it so intensely that the universe has no choice but to surrender it to you. Stop. Stop listening to the manifestation scammers. Stop listening to the grind culture fake gurus who are selling you a one-way ticket to burnout. Because their advice is poisoning you. It does not work. Think about it. Look back at your own life. When has obsessing over someone ever made them fall in love with you? Never. It makes you look desperate. It pushes them away. When has desperately needing a job, or a client, or a deal, ever helped you perform better in the moment? It hasn't. You reek of anxiety. You stumble over your words. You project a frequency of lack, and they can smell it on you from a mile away. The harder you chase something, the faster it runs. The tighter you grip the sand, the faster it slips through your fingers. This is the trap of modern ambition. You are suffocating your own success. You are strangling your own potential by caring far too much about the outcome. You know this feeling intimately. The knot of pure dread in your stomach at 3 a.m, agonizing over an outcome you cannot control. The pathetic act of crafting the perfect text message, hitting send, and then staring at your screen for hours. Watching your self-worth plummet with every passing minute of silence. You have poured your blood, sweat, and tears into a project. You have sacrificed your peace for a business. You have lost yourself trying to save a relationship. Only to watch it all crumble precisely because you gripped it too tightly. You feel exhausted. You feel hollow. You feel like a dog chasing a car, running until your lungs are on fire, but you never actually catch it. And even if you did, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Modern self-help looks at your exhaustion and tells you the answer is more effort. More late nights. More affirmations. More aggressive pursuit. They tell you, if you don't have it yet, it's because you just don't want it bad enough. What a toxic, destructive lie. This lie keeps you locked in a perpetual state of starvation. It convinces you that your current reality is fundamentally broken, and that you are fundamentally incomplete. It turns you into a beggar. And reality does not negotiate with beggars. The world does not respect the desperate. This constant wanting, this burning attachment to outcomes, is a disease. It makes you weak. It makes you easily manipulated. If you desperately need a specific outcome, anyone who controls that outcome controls you. Your boss. Your partner. The market. You have handed them the remote control to your emotional state. When you finally understand the mechanics of letting go, everything changes. When you drop the desperation, the dynamic violently shifts. You stop chasing, and you start attracting. If you are ready to break this pathetic cycle, if you are ready to stop begging reality and start commanding it, hit that subscribe button right now. We are building an army of the unbreakable, and we need your mind in the ranks. Let's talk about the men who actually understood power. Let's talk about the Stoics. Let's talk about Epictetus. A man born into brutal slavery, who possessed absolutely nothing, yet realized he was more free than the Emperor of Rome. Why? Because he detached from everything he could not control. Let's talk about Marcus Aurelius. The most powerful human being on the planet. A man who could have anything he pointed at with a single finger. Yet, he slept on the floor. He constantly reminded himself that fame, wealth, and status were nothing but dust blowing in the wind. He ruled the world precisely because he did not need the world. Did these men make vision boards? Did they write journal entries crying about how the universe wasn't giving them what they manifested? Did they tie their emotional stability to the opinions of the mob? No. Modern society is incredibly weak. It teaches us to be utterly fragile. We are conditioned to tie our entire identity to external markers. If we lose our job, we are told we are failures. If we get rejected, we are told we are unlovable. If we aren't rich and famous by 30, we are told our lives are meaningless. We are instructed to care deeply, obsessively, about everything, all the time. The Stoics would look at modern society with absolute pity. They understood the ultimate cheat code to reality. They understood the dichotomy of control. They knew that desire is a contract you make with yourself to be miserable until you get what you want. And they refused to sign that contract. They cultivated inner invincibility. They knew that wealth, status, and relationships are preferred indifference. It is fine to prefer them. It is fine to work toward them. But the moment you need them, you have lost your soul. This is the paradigm shift you must make right now. This is where you draw the line in the sand. You must stop treating your goals as a matter of strategy, and start treating them as a matter of identity. Who are you? Are you a starving animal, begging for scraps of validation from the universe? Or are you a mountain, entirely indifferent to the storms that crash against you? Detachment is not about giving up. Do not confuse what I am saying with apathy. Apathy is the weakness of the defeated. It is the excuse of the coward who is too afraid to try. Detachment is the weapon of the elite. It is not about willpower. It is not about gritting your teeth and trying really hard to pretend you don't care. Fake indifference is just another form of anxiety. People can see right through it. True detachment is about alignment. It is aligning yourself with the absolute reality that you are already whole. That your worth is not up for negotiation. That whether you get the promotion, the girl, the millions, or whether you lose it all tomorrow, your inner citadel remains untouched. So how do you actually do this? How do you rewire your brain to care less, so you can finally get more? It requires ruthlessly implementing the laws of the unbothered. First, you must execute the death of the timeline. Anxiety thrives on the clock. You want it now. You need it by Friday. You must be successful by next year. You are trying to force the universe onto your schedule. This creates immense friction. You must kill the timeline in your mind. You put in the work today, and you accept that the harvest will come whenever it comes. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in 10 years. Maybe never. When you remove the deadline, you remove the desperation. You can finally breathe. You can finally operate with a clear head. You stop making stupid, hasty decisions born out of panic. Second, you must sever your identity from the result. This is the core of Stoic philosophy. Imagine an archer. The archer has total control over his stance. He controls the tension of the bowstring. He controls his breathing. He controls his focus. But the moment he releases the arrow, his control drops to absolute zero. A sudden gust of wind can blow the arrow off course. The target might move. The arrow might break. If the archer's self-worth is attached to hitting the bullseye, his hand will shake. He will be terrified of missing. And because he is terrified of missing, he will miss. But the Stoic archer does not care about the bullseye. He cares only about the perfection of the process. He takes pride in the perfect draw, the perfect breath, the perfect release. Once the arrow is in the air, he turns his back. He is indifferent to where it lands. You must become the Stoic archer in your own life. Focus with ruthless intensity on the work. Control your input. Control your discipline. Control your daily habits. But the moment you hit publish, the moment you send the email, the moment you walk out of the interview, you must instantly detach from the outcome. It is no longer yours. Let it go. Third, you must master the immense power of walking away. In any negotiation, in any relationship, in any business deal, the person who cares the least holds all the power. Read that again in your mind. The person who cares the least holds all the power. When you desperately need a deal to close, you will compromise your values. You will lower your price. You will ignore red flags. You will accept disrespect. But when you truly do not need it, you become incredibly dangerous. You become unmanipulable. When you can look someone in the eye, hear their offer, and calmly say, "No, thank you," without a hint of anger or regret, you shatter their reality. People are mesmerized by those who do not need them. It defies human nature. We are wired to expect neediness. When you project total comfort with walking away, you instantly become the most high-value person in the room. They will start chasing you. They will offer you more money. They will suddenly find you incredibly attractive. Because human beings naturally want what they cannot easily grasp. We value what is scarce. And nothing is more scarce in this desperate, needy world than a person who is entirely content with themselves. Fourth, you must embrace the absolute worst-case scenario. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in the Roman Empire, used to practice poverty. He would wear rags, eat stale bread, and sleep on the cold ground for days at a time. Why? To remind himself that the worst thing that could happen was really not that bad. You are terrified of failing because you have built a monster in your mind. You think losing your job will kill you. You think getting rejected will destroy you. You think going broke is the end of the world. Look the monster in the eye. What happens if you lose it all? You will still breathe. You will still walk. Your mind will still be yours. When you realize that the worst-case scenario is completely survivable, the fear evaporates. And when the fear evaporates, the attachment dies with it. You become free to take massive risks. You become free to swing for the fences, because you do not care if you strike out. Fifth, you must flip the dynamic of desire. Stop trying to extract value from the world, and start becoming a source of it. Needy people are black holes. They enter a room and try to suck the energy, the money, the attention out of everyone else. People intuitively feel this, and they pull away. You must become a sun. You must burn so brightly with your own purpose, your own discipline, your own internal fire, that you do not need anything from anyone. You are not looking for a partner to complete you, you are already complete. You are not looking for a job to validate you, you validate yourself. You are not looking for the world to give you permission to be great. When you operate from this frequency, a massive energetic shift occurs. You are no longer pushing against the current. You become the current. Opportunities will start to flow toward you with frightening speed. People will be drawn to your calm, your focus, your unbreakable center. They will want to be near you, to do business with you, to be with you, precisely because you do not demand it of them. You have been playing the game completely backwards. You have been sweating, and bleeding, and crying over things that are entirely outside of your control. You have made yourself a slave to external outcomes. It is time to cut the chains. It is time to reclaim your mind. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control what other people think of you. You cannot control whether they text you back. But you can control your absolute indifference to it all. You can cultivate a mind so disciplined, so fortified, that external chaos cannot penetrate the walls. Let the desperate masses continue to run on their treadmills. Let them exhaust themselves chasing shadows and begging for validation. Let them consume endless content about how to hustle harder and manifest faster. You are stepping off the treadmill. You are stepping into the arena of the Stoics. You are choosing the path of immense, quiet power. Focus entirely on the action. Remain utterly indifferent to the applause. Do the work. Build the life. Cultivate the mind. And then, let the chips fall exactly where they may. Do not flinch. Do not complain. Do not wish reality was different than it is. The world belongs to those who do not need it. Release your desperate grip. Let them chase you.